Okay, Christina here to listen to some music, and today's music selection is Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. This is the second reaction to the Rolling Stones on the channel so far. The first one was not too long ago to Paint It Black. So I have mixed feelings, or at least I have had some very mixed feelings about this group. It was just a group that I never really got into, and I was kind of annoyed that it seemed like everybody else was into them and had all of this respect for them, and I'm just like, why? I don't know. But I always kind of knew that that was more of a me issue than an everybody else issue, and it was just a matter of time, I guess, before I would finally become really introduced with this group. And honestly, that's one reason why I started this channel, is to allow me to broaden my musical horizons and sometimes sort of see what all the fuss is about. And so why might I be interested in doing that? I'm a professional, classically trained musician, instrumentalist, vocalist, composer, and professor. So I dive into all of this music to look at how it was composed, the instruments that were used, maybe some music theory or form and analysis, sometimes some instrument demos, but of course, how do we relate to this music? Why do we like it? Or maybe why do we not like it? So I very much enjoyed Paint It Black. I'm very excited to have this next peek into this group. Will I become a fan in the end? For now, no more delay. Let's listen. Okay, so we're almost ready, but I do want to say also that this is a video that we are reacting to today. And I've not really seen this band perform very much as far as I know, if at all. So this is exciting. Here we go.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Manuel the Chase. I've been around for a long, long year. Stole many a man's soul and faith. I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt.
Okay, I just want to stop and just discuss a couple of things here. First of all, actually I'm not sure when this video was made. Is this with the official release of the song? And that would have been in 1968. Paint It Black was 1966. Sympathy for the Devil is 1968. Again, that's about all I know. I'm not even sure the name of the album. Okay, but we'll get there. Feel free to put that kind of stuff in the comments, because I do read the comments and I do want to learn more about this. We're all here to learn things. So, I do know that these musicians are a little older these days. Are they all still around? I think so. So it's fun to see these young faces, knowing that they're just sort of getting going on their journey. But they would have been pretty popular by this point. And I can just see by how comfortable they are on stage here and how energetic. They're just kind of playing it cool. All right. This guy, that's Mick Jagger, but from the perspective of what he's singing about, thinks pretty highly of himself. That's what I'm gathering so far. Okay, groovy beat. Love it. Just get into it. I'll stop talking for now. Here we go.
And pain made damn sure that Pilate washed his hands, sealed his fate. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. Oh yeah. But what's puzzling you is just the nature of my game. Stuck around St. Petersburg, when I saw it was the time for a change. Killed us all and his ministers. Anastasia screamed in vain. I rode a tank, had a generous rank. I went to blitzkrieg rage and the body stank. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guessed my name. Ah, yeah. But what's confusing you is just the nature of my game. I watch with glee while your kings and queens fall for 10 decades. For the God save me, I shouted out, Gail of Kennedy. Well, after all, it was you and me. So let me please introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and chase. And I'll lead track for troubadours who get here before they reach Bombay.
Okay. Sorry, I'm giggling not to downplay the content of this at all, because I don't think that can be done. I just am really getting a kick out of his energy. And it's very much supported by the music itself. I'm working really hard to hear the music itself. It's just kind of the same thing over and over again, and I think that's fine. I think it sets up a solid foundation so that we focus more on the story that's being told. And I am working really hard at that. Luckily, I do have subtitles here, so I'm able to follow along quickly, because a lot of you know I hear the music first and then lyrics second. I often have to go back and look at the lyrics because I don't catch most of them because my ear is following the musical instruments in the background. But this one I'm following along, and I'm trying to find out who's being introduced. The title is Sympathy for the Devil. So is it the devil? Him playing the character? I'm not sure. I mean, I thought at first it was telling one story, and then it kind of hopped to another century, and then another, like through the ages. I'm like, there's a common denominator here. And it seems to sort of be a plague upon humanity, sort of, so far. Saw something mentioned, Blitzkrieg and the Kennedys and everything in between. Okay, he's jumping around. Love the energy. I am completely engaged with this. Let's keep going.
Pleased to meet you. Hope you guessed my name. But what's buzzing you is just the nature of my game. Get down with it. You is just the nature of my game. Yeah. Just as every cop is a criminal, and all the sinners saints. As ancestors you can call Lucifer, 'cause I'm in need of some restraint. So if you meet me, have some courtesy, have some sympathy, and some days. All your well-learned politics, or I lay your soul to waste. Yeah. Pleased to meet you. Oh, you guess my name. Yeah. But what's buzzing you is just the nature of my game. Yeah. Get down with it.
Okay, I'm going to back this up and hear I guess, what might be the second little guitar solo here. The first one was nice. Was it just completely virtuosic? No, but it doesn't need to be. And so if there is another solo here, then the solo is sort of worked into being part of the form of the piece itself. That's interesting. Because usually, you know, we have like verse, chorus, and then instrumental break, and then verse, chorus, and then the ending. And we're not done yet here. We're only like halfway done here with this video. So I don't know what's to come. What I am feeling from this, though, just with all of the bubbling energy, is just heat. Like red hot, kind of like a negative force, anger, but at the same time, sympathy. It's asking for sympathy for the devil. That's the part I'm not sure about. I'm focusing more on the introduction. So we did sort of get a bit of an introduction here. Lucifer came up. That was one name. And then there was a mention of the sympathy, like I said. But I still feel puzzled. I know that the guitar finally kind of let loose and started to speak a little bit, but I really am not hearing any of the other instruments come forward yet. It's just all the vocals. And I think it does seem to be like first person for Lucifer here. So he's really hogging the stage. Is he going to let anyone else have their turn? Is he going to sort of wiggle all of the energy out to the point where everyone else needs to like come forward? I'm still, again, I am puzzled. What is he after here? What is this character trying to achieve with this message? Well, again, the energy is just sort of red hot. It seems like it's still building. Let's hear what this next guitar moment is going to try to say to us.
All right. All right. All right. Oh, baby. All right. All right. All right. Ooh, woo. Ooh, woo.
Okay, he totally stole the show. stole the other moment here for a guitar solo with his woo kind of stuff, all the hoo-hoos, up there. Totally stole that moment. Interesting. And then didn't just steal it, but like almost threw a temper tantrum in order to get it, and was like actually laying down to get it. I did not have any idea what to expect, but I think he sort of transformed, and the taking off of the shirt was a little weird, almost sort of concerning, but very artistic and to the point, with the drawings on his arms and chest. Very interesting choice there. Yeah, he's a man possessed by this character at this point. Very interesting. I am still feeling all of this heat, though. It's almost unsettling, but I'm also enjoying the performance enough here that I'm like, okay, I can take a little bit of this heat here and still be okay. All right, how's this going to wind down? Because it definitely seems like it's starting to. Are we going to cool off a little bit? Everybody's been working really hard here for several minutes here, playing the same riffs in the background here. Okay, let's hear this on out.
All right. Tell me, baby, what's my name? What's my name? Won't you tell me, baby? What's my name? I want you to tell me, sweetie. And y'all come on, name. Won't you tell me, baby? What's my name? I want you to tell me, sweetie. Y'all come on, right? Ooh, 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 ooh. All right. Now tell me, honey. What's my name? What's my name? Oh, tell me, baby.
Okay. So, what is his name? I think he has many names. And I think even in the writing and the performing of this song, you're almost looking this characterization just like straight in the eyes, flirting with it just a little bit, almost trying to embody it. Well, I'm very much trying to embody it. I feel like some of the physical movement from Mick Jagger, I feel like some of those things have to be his signature moves. I sort of kind of maybe remember him sort of doing those kinds of moves somehow. It's all kind of there in pop culture, so it's hard to miss these things, but it's easy to not let them in and become part of your consciousness. It's more like a subconscious awareness here, which kind of goes along the lines of, evil and the devil. Just that darker side, almost that unseen, unknown side of things. It's always there. whether we believe in it or not. But, what is the name? What is the name? Do you think you have the name? You think you're looking right in the eyes there? Can you pinpoint where it might be in all of those things over time? Or is it really just part of humanity? And that's the best way that we can explain it. I think that's an individual decision that we have to make on what we feel is how this goes. But the interpretation of it, I thought it was very deserving of all of this. And considering this was my first time to really see this group perform, I was very taken by this. I was kind of uneasy with it. Like just all of the heavy stuff that he named at the beginning of the song, and then how you could never really predict what he was going to do for the rest of the performance. And he was all over the place. And I don't think it was just completely a show, just doing things for the sake of doing things. To me, it seemed like there was some purpose behind it, like how he was interacting with the audience. He grabbed that shawl thing at the end. And some of it just seems kind of silly, but it also seems a little maniacal, and I think that's what he was after. But, so I did say this a little bit with Paint It Black, is that there was some messiness to it, and kind of a little sassy. And I know that it was about grief. I know that. And that point was absolutely taken. But, musically and how it was put together, like those two words just kept coming. Messy, a little bit sassy. I feel like this is sort of the same. At the same time, though, it was different. There was a really cool vibe to Paint It Black. Sort of an Eastern world music sort of feel to it. This had a little bit of that. We had some bongos and things like that, but it seemed a little bit more straightforward. And even though it was energetic, it wasn't like just the most creative, unique thing that I've ever heard. But I don't think it was meant to be. I think it's supposed to sort of be representing like the everyday of our lives, humanity. Again, we're back into that. And we've got the little devil running around, causing trouble, stealing solos. I still think that the guitar had a little moment at the beginning, and then when he came back in, the devil came in there and kind of stole it from him. Sort of just wreaking havoc on everything. But I would like to know how deep this group can actually go. So Paint It Black, it went deep. It really was about grief. And at the time, I was also thinking it could be about a couple of other things, like maybe that someone had been unfaithful, some kind of pain going on there. So I know that they can dig into that. But this, it was almost sarcastic, not at themselves, but at the rest of us. That's also really deep. Okay, so music-wise, like I said, it was kind of just foundational, and it's like it was all there to have the energy and then support the idea of the character that they're representing here. But I do want to go and take another look at the musicality here. So I'm going to go back to the beginning and hear this. Okay, so up to this point, except for what he was, that kind of stuff, and the yeah stuff. All right, this is deceivingly comfortable, but when he starts making all of those little noises, you start to kind of go, ooh, that's not as comfortable. It's kind of cool, but where exactly are we headed? The percussion is fantastic. I loved, the rim, the playing with sticks on the rim of the drums to begin with, and the addition of the bongos. Awesome. So I guess there is still kind of that hint of more worldly music in there instead of just straightforward a rock and roll band, drums, guitar, bass, keyboards, singer, right? There is still something a little special in there. And the percussion part, not messy at all. And then like the bluesy keyboard part, again, that's not messy at all. The guitar solos, not messy. But there was still something messy about it. And it's mainly what Mick Jagger is doing over the top of everything and the way he's behaving. That's messy. And I guess, again, what I was trying to say just a little bit ago is that the foundation of the band is like humanity, and then the singer's coming in there with this character that is causing all this trouble. But really, it is deceptive at the beginning, isn't it? You're like, ooh, this is going to be a fun song. And then we're like, whoa, what is he doing? Let's continue again just a little bit more. I want to hear some of these sounds. And I didn't know. Well, is this the kind of stuff that Mick Jagger does in all of his music? Are those typical sounds and typical, stage dance moves that he does in everything? Or is he really doing all of this just for this character? And it's not just sassy. It's more than sassy. It goes deeper than that. But boy, he's kind of ruining things, isn't he? Yeah. But that's what we want. That's what he wants. So that's not a bad thing. All right, I want to keep going here just a little bit more. Yeah, see, they're right on. It's an excellent drum beat, and I like this.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm May, Will, and Chase.
Okay.
I've been
All right, yeah. He's putting on quite a character here. Diction-wise, as in how the words are articulated when one is singing, that right there is enough to drive a classically trained musician/singer here a little crazy. Because we have to work very hard to get the correct and clear articulation when we are singing. It takes years of training to be able to do that well. And he's sort of breaking all of those rules all at once. Oh my goodness. I sort of noticed it the first time through, but now I'm just like, woof, he's what a little brat, right? But that's the character. That's what he's supposed to do. I'm going to back it up and just hear just that little tiny bit. The opening lines.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Okay, please allow me to introduce myself. There was nothing there. And so many diphthongs all over the place.
I'm May, Will, and Chase.
I'm main of Will and Chase. Okay, I'm not making fun of him in any way. I don't mean to laugh. It's uncomfortable, and so I'm laughing because of my own discomfort. I'm laughing my discomfort away here. So I'm a man of wealth and taste. Whew. That's what I'm used to hearing when you sing. Okay. Does he sing like that all the time? I don't think I heard that in Painted Black. I'm also really glad that I had the subtitles on here. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have understood what he was saying. And that might have kind of gotten on my nerves a little bit. But as this continues on, you realize that he needs to be doing that to put on this character. So let's move forward. Let's see. There was another place that I found that I think, yeah. So I didn't completely clock the diction issue at the beginning, but later on I did. One of the places was I think around here.
Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I could understand those words better, but my name. So I don't know if that would be coming from his accent that he has naturally, his speaking accent. But it definitely is unique. Name. And the tone of his voice gets really deep and swallowed there. Let's go back and hear him do that. This has to be a stylistic thing that Mick Jagger does, right? Doesn't he do this sort of thing? He does it so naturally.
Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But what's puzzling you is just the nature of my game. Stuck around St. Petersburg.
So he's really starting to get the energy going, right? Okay, it's infectious. And then along with all of the stylistic things, the name, and then also, adding a little bit of that vocal fry in there into his singing. It's all really cool, but it's kind of uncomfortable. But that's what makes it cool. Okay. So let's go forward to when he was actually named. Let's see, I think it was around here. I thought that was a really interesting moment.
A saint, as ancestors you can call Lucifer, 'cause I'm in need of some restraint. So if you meet me, have some courtesy, have some sympathy, and some taste. 'Cause all your well-learned politics, or I lay your soul away.
Okay. A bit of an ultimatum there. I don't know. This is the part where it gets a little bit deep. Because how can you ask for sympathy for such a thing like this? But it's almost a call to take part. And then you have to be careful because you can get tangled up in it. Oh, it's so very tricky all in itself. And then him actually saying the name, it almost is like calling the devil human, almost bringing him in to humanity, in which then we can get fooled. I don't know. Okay, so let's move ahead to where he completely stole the show, and also to see a familiar face in the background. All right, we'll get there. All right. So, okay, the guitar is supposed to be playing. The guitar is supposed to be the guitar's moment, and he's going, all right. Okay, yep. Time for you to step back, sir. Yep. Look at me. I'm gonna throw my tantrum until you are sure to pay attention to me. All right. He's getting what he wants. All right. Okay, and this is the part where I feel like it's switched over and he's becoming sort of obsessed and possessed with all of this. Like possession here. He's sort of down there writhing, but at the same time sort of having fun with it. And then he sort of takes the shirt off and reveals his true self. Oh, and I just realized, okay, the audience is wearing these weird ponchos, like yellow and orange. And so, does that represent fire? Like the flames within a fire? Is that like all the people sort of burning for their sins? I don't know. Is this some sort of outdoor venue and it was raining and those are just ponchos that they passed out? I don't know. It seems a little bit more intentional than that. And at this point, I wouldn't put it past them with the amount of creativity. Okay, the cameo. John Lennon. I saw John Lennon I know what John Lennon looks like. I'm just now getting to know the Beatles, kind of like this group, Rolling Stones here. I actually just started a series on Patreon and for channel members. It's called, I'll just throw the pitch in there because why not? My daughter introduces me to the music of the Beatles. So I'm just starting from the beginning, from album number 1, and I'm going to go all the way through as best I can. It's released on Wednesdays each week. Okay, that was my pitch. So I'm just getting to know a very young John Lennon, but I did know what he already looked like, later on. The longer hair and the round, thin wire-rimmed glasses. And I believe Yoko was there with him. I know what she looks like too. And I think I saw her there too. So I can see him getting into this. I know he was digging that kind of stuff later on in his career. And that's interesting because the John Lennon I'm getting to know right now, we're just still the very, very beginning with album number 1 is very different from that. A lot more straight-laced. But you can hear some of that energy starting to come through. So I can see why he would be in this audience, admiring this energy and the creativity and the message overall about humanity. So I think that's the main thing I'm taking away from this, is that message. To not get caught up in the negative, but still acknowledge that it's there. And what a cool way to let that message come across. Okay. That was Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. I do hope that I got the message correct from this, and I will still continue to be honest here that it did make me feel a little uncomfortable, and I think that's the point. Does this make me an automatic fan of this group? No, not yet. Not yet. I still need to hear more. I still need to get to know these guys a little bit more. I do want to see if what Mick Jagger did here for the character here, really was just this one time, or is this how he performs all the time when it's live like this? And I don't mean to get stuck on that, but at the same time, I want to know. So I have the feeling that I will get to more Rolling Stones here on the channel. And feel free to make some recommendations right now. I'll maybe have to put a poll up on Patreon and for channel members eventually just to get some formal suggestions, and then we vote on that in polls a few weeks later and kind of get things narrowed down. And that helps guide me. But I'm always on the lookout for what I should do next. And we also have some direct requests every now and then. That's actually what this one was. And Paint It Black. So having fun with that. With this, though, I can really appreciate this song and this performance. But it's not completely making me familiar enough with the group yet to be confident in what I'm understanding their artistry is. Like, I can see that this was innovative for its time, but I can also see how it probably put some people off. Especially they're talking about the devil and why would you want sympathy for that? And look at what he's doing. And so just for those boundaries, I can see that they're trying to push some boundaries, break some rules. And sometimes society needs that sort of thing, but it's going to cause a lot of friction along the way. So I think I'm feeling all of that. So I need to hear more from this group. Let it simmer a little bit more. Let the appreciation grow even more. It's happening. But this is a lifelong bias of mine of thinking, why are these guys so great, right? Well, I think I see some of it now. But I'm going to want to see some more. So until then, thank you for coming along with me on this one. I had a good time. And will this go on my playlist? Yes, absolutely. It is super groovy. And if you don't want it to be too deep, it doesn't have to be too deep. It's got that deceptively energetic and almost happy sense to it. And that chord progression is really great. That itself became the hook. Love that. And just simply seeing how much energy was happening there on stage, feeling that heat up there, seeing how much fun John Lennon was having out in the audience, that right there is satisfying enough. Do I like this song more than Paint It Black? I'm going to say no for now. I mean, Paint It Black really had a lot of unique sound to it, But this, it grows on you. Sympathy for the Devil. This song grows on you. So I think I'm going to have to do some more listening on my own and maybe report back on my next Rolling Stones reaction, whatever that may be. So stay tuned for that. But until then, everybody just remember that you don't have to be perfect. Just be okay. And keep listening.